Okay, chat, we are going to be ranking all of the Transformers shows. We're going to be ranking S to D, and also I have a haven't seen category because I haven't seen a good amount of them. We're going to be ranking every show, talking about them, discussing, perchance, and I'm going to be ranking them. So S is like my favorite. You know, I can watch it whenever it's the show I'm going to recommend people to watch. A is really good, but I feel like there are some flaws that like make it a little bit away from perfection. B is gonna be a show I like, but I don't necessarily think it's that good. I personally like it. I enjoy it for all its flaws, but I'm not gonna really recommend it to anyone as a show they should watch to get into Transformers. C is gonna be a show I just don't care for. Overall, I wouldn't say it's bad, but I wouldn't watch it myself. I'm just not interested. And then D is a show I think is actively bad. I think I don't think people should watch it because it actively makes Transformers look like a bad show. I'm gonna try and go in release order. If I mix any of them up, don't get mad at me, all right? So let's of course start with G1 Transformers. Now, I will say I've not seen the entire series. I've seen, I want to say, half of season 1. I've seen the movie, and that's about it. And I've seen like some random episodes on VHS as a kid. G1 is a series I really need to go in and like properly watch and finish because it's important. It's important to Transformers. And if I'm going to be a Transformers content creator, I do think I should be watching it, right? It is old. It's from the 80s. It's not perfect, and they were learning, you know, they were making it up as they were going along, essentially, right? Like, they had all this information from Bob Budiansky, but that stuff didn't always get translated into the show. For me, personally, I gotta go with B tier, because I think the animation airs and the oldness will put a lot of people off. For sure. Like, a lot of people don't touch G1 because they know it's old and it's a little bit janky. Having watched the first half of season 1, it's a lot less janky than I thought it was gonna be. I think it is old for sure, but I don't think it's janky. I think it's got good animation. It's got inconsistent animation. Sometimes it'll go from like a very standard G1 model of Optimus Prime to like the most anime Optimus Prime you've ever seen. And it's kind of funny like that. It's fun to watch, man. I've also watched a couple season 3 episodes. It's after the movie where like the ghost of Starscream comes in, and I thought those episodes were like really entertaining and funny. So I think this show is better than most like modern fans that didn't grow up with it think it is. But I also do think it's like kind of got a barrier to entry. Some people are just not gonna watch something like this, and that's okay. But for me, I think it solidly belongs in B tier. Okay, so I have a question for you gamers. Is Generation 2 a different cartoon? Is this a safe space to ask this? G1 reruns with editing. Okay. G2 is just G1 but more annoying. I'm just gonna put this in haven't seen because I can't really judge it myself, but it does sound kind of just like G1 but a little bit worse. And then I haven't seen this. I think this is Headmasters. Haven't seen anything about this. I have not seen Transformers Victory. I haven't seen Super God Master Force. I'm totally unread on the Japanese stuff. Beast Wars, I've watched a good amount. No, not a good amount. I watched like half of season 1. I'm a fake fan. You guys are gonna learn I'm a fake freaking fan and I'm a fat fucking chud. You know, I think it could be an S or an A based on what I've seen. I'm inclined to say A. It's mostly because I haven't seen enough. I've seen, I want to say 20 episodes of season 1, but it's been a bit. I feel like it probably is S tier, but I haven't seen enough. I've seen A tier. I've seen a show that's A tier. It's got animation I like. I don't mind the animation. I know a lot of people are like kind of haters on it because of the animation, but me personally, I really like the weirdness of it, I guess. But Beast Wars, I think it strongly deserves A. I can see an argument for S, but I'm gonna keep it an A for me personally, okay? Beast Wars revived the franchise and got me into TF. Yeah, there's plenty of people that grew up directly with Beast Wars and it was their G1 essentially. Okay, after Beast Wars, we gotta go. Well, I guess we gotta do Beast Wars Neo, which I haven't seen. So I'm gonna have to put in haven't seen. I'm a filthy casual. Oh no, we got Beast Machines. Beast Machines, which I watched as a kid. I really don't remember it. I'm inclined to put it in haven't seen, unfortunately, because I've really not watched anything recently. Beast Machines, it gets a lot of hate. I know that for a fact. I also know the toy line was weird as hell. I also know it looks weird as hell. But I've also heard it's quite interesting. Like it like introduces a bunch of new ideas to Transformers. And like if you watch it without like all the hatred for it and you give it a proper chance, like I've heard it's pretty good. You know, just like all these other ones I haven't seen, I plan to watch it. Beast Machines might technically be my first Transformers show. Like I remember having some Beast Machines figures, like Tank War. I'm pretty sure I had Tank War. Beast Machines looks like if everyone in Beast Wars was transmutate. Okay, RID01 was probably the first Transformers show I watched when I was sentient. It is a very anime show. It's very anime inspired. I think it's really cool. I like the stuff they do. I actually watched it pretty recently. Like not recently, like 2 or 3 years ago, and I watched like 20-ish episodes. So I'm not gonna say I'm the expert, but I've watched it recently enough that I feel like I can rate it at the very least. And I do think it's more of a B tier for me. I think it's cool. I think the designs are cool, but you know, it's kind of a comedy show, which is really interesting. It's got a lot of comedic elements. Like I feel like a lot of modern Transformers shows have a lot of comedic influences, like Cyberworld has a bunch, but this is an older show with a lot of comedy, almost as a focus. So I think RID01 is really interesting, but I don't think it's like A or S tier, to be honest. Even though it was my first one, Optimus Prime was my first Optimus toy, but just purely as a show, I think it's kind of falling in B tier form. I think RID01 is silly. It is silly. It's totally silly. I don't think that's a wrong take. Armada. So while I became sentient while RID01 was out, Armada truly is my first Transformers cartoon. It's the one I paid attention to. It's the one I understood what was going on. I had a ton of the toys. Like I had Optimus, Megatron, Unicron, Tidal Wave. Like this was the one where, you know, I think probably every kid has like a toy line where they got lucky and got a bunch of the toys. For me, Armada was that line. I had so many mini cons. Mini cons to me are so awesome. I think they're so cool. I love them. Now, what am I gonna rank it? We should all be reasonable in the fact that Transformers Armada, the cartoon that came to America, anyway, is a rough show. It was kind of unfinished. It has a lot of issues with the dub. It's got a lot of issues with the animation. And I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying that it is a tough recommendation because it's not really a great cartoon. You know, it's really stiff. The action isn't amazing. The story it's telling is pretty interesting, but I could see people not being into it at all. And by the way, I've recently watched Armada, like I watched about half of the show actually, and I really need to get back to it. I am gonna put Armada in C tier because it is a really rough cartoon. It is a really rough cartoon. I think I love it nostalgically because, you know, I grew up with it and it's like important to me. But if you showed a new Transformers fan this show, I think they'd be like, this kind of sucks, bro. Its sequel, Transformers Energon, I'll say I have not watched Energon in a very long time. I watched it as a kid. I thought it was kind of cool as a kid, but I didn't like that they had 3D Transformers. I like the 2D look of Armada, and I did not like that they changed to 3D. That immediately kind of turned me off from the show. Energon, I'm just gonna slap in the D tier, man. I don't think people like the dub is bad. The animation, you know, it's got a vibe for sure. I don't think Energon is something you should show people if you want them to like Transformers. Now, Transformers Cybertron. This show has so much nostalgia. I've seen, you know, our worlds are in danger. That became a meme for a little bit. The Cybertron designs stunt on Energon so hard. And I watched a lot more of Cybertron than I did Energon. Cybertron definitely hooked me a lot more. Yeah, there is a lot of nostalgia for this show. I actually went and I tried to watch the first couple episodes, and golly, watching it as an adult is a lot different from watching it as a kid. The way the show starts is just bizarre. Truly bizarre. But I remember watching it weekly. I was watching it like it'd come on in the mornings before I went to school. So every morning I'd watch Cybertron, an episode of Cybertron. And I remember the Jungle Planet. I remember Gigantron, or whatever the giant planet is called. You know, the Velocitron. Like, I watched not every single episode, but I've watched so many of the arcs throughout. You know, I can't remember his name, but the green Jeep guy turning into Leo Breaker. And I had a bunch of the toys as well. I had a good amount of Cybertron toys. The gimmick was pretty cool with the Cybertron keys. I like to say the Cybertron key gimmick is just a worse version of the Minicon gimmick, because it is. Cybertron was better than Energon, easily clears Energon. I think it clears Armada. For me personally, it doesn't clear Armada, but I do think, like, overall, I think it's kind of better. I think people could get into it a little bit more because it's got so many ideas that it throws out so quick. I think it goes in bottom of B tier, man. It's not a good show, just straight on, but it is kind of fun and crazy, and that does make it kind of a good show. I think if you watch Cybertron, you're kind of gonna get interested. Transformers animated, if you watch my videos, you know I'm an animated glazer. It's easily gonna be S tier. It's like the ultimate, like, you know how Marvel did Ultimate Spider-Man and all that stuff in the early 2000s. I know they're doing it now, but the originals, you know, the original concept, and modernized it and gave it new ideas and new life. That is exactly what Transformers animated is to me. Absolutely love animated. I love the characters. I love the writing. The Decepticons are some of the coolest Decepticons in the whole franchise. You know, I love Lugnut. I love the take on Blitzwing. The Dinobots are awesome. Sentinel Prime and Ultra Magnus, like that whole hierarchy of how the Autobots work is interesting. So Transformers animated, easily S tier. So after animated is gonna come Prime, obviously. People love to blame Prime for killing animated. It's not really Transformers Prime's fault. I think that's such a silly argument. I've actually started watching Prime recently. I was gonna do a big video on it, and then I decided against it because what I was trying to do wasn't really working for me. Like, I was trying to fit myself into a style that, you know, I just don't fit in. But I will talk about Transformers Prime at some point, for sure. So I've watched about half of season 1, I want to say, and I really enjoyed it. I've seen a lot of hate. I've seen a lot of love for the show. But for me, I really enjoy it. I definitely think Optimus, it's a weak version of Optimus. He's a really stiff character. I don't really mind anything else about the show. Like, I think a lot of it is really cool and interesting. So I'm actually gonna give it a behind Beast Wars, because I think Beast Wars overall is more interesting. But Transformers Prime, I think it's a good show. They poured millions of dollars into each episode. Like, it'd be kind of crazy if it was totally terrible. Okay, so after Transformers Prime, I guess it's gotta be Robots in Disguise, right? This show, I'm sorry, but it's gonna be a D tier off rip. I do think the Decepticons are interesting, because the Decepticons are all like animal themed, like Steeljaw and Thunderhoof. They're fun. I actually watched season 1 of this show. I watched the full season 1. I started to watch season 2 and I thought it was really boring, so I stopped. But RID-15, I really hate the animation style. That's my beef with the show, is I hate the animation style. It's not even the like animation. I think it's just the designs. I hate their designs. Something about them just rubs me the wrong way. I don't know if I can even describe it. The only character I like is, I think Strong Arm is like a fine character, and I like most of the Decepticons. They brought back Minicons, but they're ugly and weird, and I don't like them. I don't think it's like the worst thing ever, but it's a show I do not want to watch ever again. So these Power of the Prime cartoons, I've never seen these. I've heard they're terrible, but I've actually just never seen them. So I can't say, I can't rank them really. I know Matt Pat plays Perceptor or something like that, or Computron in one of these shows, which sounds hilarious. So this is gonna be unfortunate, y'all, but I have never seen Rescue Bots. Here's what I know about it. I know it's a kind of a kiddie show, you know, aimed more towards like little kids over like slightly less little kids, and I know people love it. I know there's a great fondness for Rescue Bots despite it being aimed more towards kids, but I've never seen it. I'm not saying I'll never watch it, but I just haven't seen it, so I can't rate it, unfortunately. Transformers Cyberverse. I think we're gonna have some mixed opinions in chat on this. Oops. No, that is not what I'm doing. I think we're gonna have some mixed opinions on this one in chat. Transformers Cyberverse is a show I watched a good amount of. I watched a good amount of Transformers Cyberverse when, not when it was coming out, but kind of around the time that it was coming out. I'm gonna say right now, I think it gets a lot of unnecessary hate. I think the first like 10 episodes are rough, and I think it's got a lot of humor that probably misses the mark for people. But this is a decent Transformers show, man. This is like quite a good Transformers show. Better than a lot of the ones I grew up with, to be quite honest. I'm actually gonna put Cyberverse in B tier above G1, to be honest. I feel like Cyberverse, I think this was kind of the plan with Cyberverse. It uses all evergreen designs, and I'll say the animation is not my favorite. I definitely get people who might not like the animation. I think the show itself, the story, it's pretty fun, man. Okay, so the Netflix shows. I'm really interested to hear what people think about these Netflix shows because, oh brother, I'm gonna be honest, I'm kind of a hater, man. I think the animation is kind of fine, kind of okay. I think it's, you know, so let's start with Siege. Siege takes place on Cybertron. You know, it's during the war. The Siege had such a good toy line, and the fact that it was getting a show on Netflix I found very exciting. So I did start with Siege with an open mind, and I did enjoy Siege, man. I think Siege is pretty good, like not pretty good, but like decent enough that I would put it in B tier. I think you could show someone, a new fan, Siege, and they'd be like, okay, this is pretty cool. It's kind of like Transformers 1, I guess, kind of, you know, on Cybertron. Earthrise, let's move on to Earthrise, which is a show I did not like at all. I did not like Earthrise. First of all, I hate that it's called Earthrise because they're not in Earth, they're in space most of the show. I remember just being confused by the plot. It seemed like pointless, to be honest. Like a lot of the show, what was happening, I honestly can't remember much of what happened. I remember the Marauders showing up with Sound Blaster and Bugbite. Bugbite was in it, so that was good. And I remember them fighting Scorponok at some point, kind of just randomly. And I just did not enjoy it when I watched it. I watched it and I was like, damn, that sucked. So I'm gonna put it in D tier. Earthrise is getting a big fat D tier from me, okay? And I'll say this, Kingdom I thought was better. I thought it was like goofy and silly, but it did have like Beast Wars guys, which I thought was fun, like Beast Wars and G1 guys together in a cartoon. I think that's kind of a novel idea, more enjoyable than Earthrise was. So I'm gonna put it in C tier. Armada's gonna beat it a little bit thanks to nostalgia, but I'm gonna put Kingdom in C tier because, you know, I didn't think it was good, but I thought it was entertaining. Let's talk about Earthspark. Earthspark, I've seen season 1. And let me just say, season 1 of Earthspark, brother, I'd be tempted to put it in S tier. I enjoyed it so much. You know, I really liked so much of the show. I liked all the new characters. I liked what they were doing with the legacy characters. I like that it's kind of a sequel to G1. It feels like things have progressed in a way past the stuff we've seen over and over, Optimus versus Megatron. We've seen it so much. And I'm not saying that story's bad, I'm just saying it's been told a lot. So the fact that Earthspark goes past that, I feel like there's some great battle scenes in the first season of Earthspark. Optimus and Megatron versus the Seekers was a really awesome scene, like battle. A Jawbreaker, hashtag Nightshade, Twitch and Thrash, all great new characters to me. I like their adaptations of Grimlock and Wheeljack. I thought it was a great first season, man. I would have put it in S, but I can't. I can't put it in S because I know I haven't seen season 2 to 4. I think there's 4 seasons, kind of. I know that everything past season 1, I've heard nothing good about it. I'm just gonna be honest. I've heard bad. The most fair person I've talked to about it was JCC2224. Because he said he didn't really notice a downgrade in animation, which is a big criticism I've heard. But I've also heard a lot of criticisms about the story. Like, they have a lot of growth they do during season 1 that apparently gets reverted back. I'm really split on where to put Earthspark, because like I said, season 1 standalone, I might put that in S. I enjoyed it so much. But with all the bad stuff I've heard, I've not wanted to continue past season 1 with everything bad I've heard. I think I will put it at the top of B for now. If I ever do one of these again after watching the rest of the show, it might be lower, it might be higher. I might say, honestly, guys, I don't think it's that bad. That might be my opinion. I don't know. But I'm gonna put it at the top of B tier for now because season 1 was so peak, bro. Transformers Cyberworld. The most recent cartoon. It's on YouTube. If you want to watch it, you can watch it for free on YouTube. 5-minute episodes, very different from what we're used to as a Transformers cartoon. I gotta say, having watched all the episodes, I actually kind of loved it, man. I think it's really fun for what it is. I don't think it's like peak, but I think with the 5-minute time limit they've been given, they've been able to tell a pretty interesting and cool story. More so than I would have thought based on the description we read, where it's like, yeah, there's a new Transformers show, 36 episodes, 5 minutes each, going on YouTube. You read that and you're like, bro, that sounds bad. That sounds bad. That sounds like it'll be dog shit, but it's not. It's really enjoyable, man. The first few episodes are kind of weak, but the more you get into it, the better it gets. I think I've got to put it in A tier. I'm not gonna put it above Prime or Beast Wars. I think that's stepping a little too far. I think it's an A tier for me. I'm actually excited to watch new episodes, which, I would have never expected before actually watching the show. So that was a hugely pleasant surprise about Transformers Cyberworld. And this is my tier list of, I think, most, if not all, the Transformers shows. So we're going to go from the bottom to the top. I haven't seen G2, Headmasters, Victory, Super God Master Force, Beast Wars 2 or Neo. I haven't seen Beast Machines. I haven't watched any of the Machinima shows, and I haven't seen Rescue Bots. In D tier, I put Transformers Energon, Transformers Robots in Disguise 2015, and Transformers Earthrise. In C tier, we have Transformers Armada and Transformers Kingdom. In B tier, we have Transformers Earthspark, Transformers Cyberverse, Transformers Generation 1, Transformers RIDO 1, Transformers Cybertron, and Transformers Siege. In the A tier, we've got Beast Wars, Transformers Prime, and Transformers Cyberworld. And then finally, in the S tier, we have Transformers Animated. So that's gonna be my tier list for this stream. I'm happy with it. I'm sure tons of people are gonna disagree. I'm probably gonna upload this to my second channel, so we'll see what people think of my picks here. They might think I'm just truly one of the dumbest fans alive. But this is genuinely how I feel. I really went with my genuine feelings on this ranking. So